What's up, everybody? Welcome to 15 Minutes to Frame. Matt Cook DJ Services in the house. Coming up next.
Preview.
Hey, Matt, thanks for coming in, man.
Thanks for inviting me. I really appreciate you being here and doing this. This is awesome.
Cool. Appreciate it. So Matt, tell us a little bit about you. What, where you're from, family, how, all this stuff.
Born and raised in Oceana.
Okay.
Been there all my life.
Okay.
Live about 30 feet from where I grew up. Live in my grandparents' house.
Cool.
Been married almost 21 years. Got 3 children, ages 10, 15, and 18.
Wow. So tell me a little bit about how you got started. I think you have a pretty interesting story about how you got started.
It was
as a DJ.
It was kind of an accident, really. The kids at school were having a problem finding a DJ, and I kind of jokingly told my wife, I said, "Well, I'll just buy my own equipment and I'll do it."
Right.
And she looked at me. She said, "That's not a bad idea."
But you had to have a desire. Like what made you feel like you could do it? I guess.
I always kind of wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I had a friend that DJ'd back in school, and I help him every once in a while.
Right.
And
So you had a kind of a gift for words and stuff like that.
kind of always wanted to do it, but
Yeah.
never really pursued it.
Right.
And the opportunity came up.
Cool.
That was in 2019. It was in
2019.
May of 2019 is when I brought my first equipment.
That's awesome. So since then, how many weddings have you done now?
I did one, my first one, which you was at. Big help for me.
I remember 2019. It was Kelli and Chris.
Kelli
right?
and Chris, yeah.
Right. So if you guys are listening, thank you for helping this guy out and me.
Absolutely. Did that in December, then COVID hit.
Yeah.
Everything got shut down. That year alone, actually, I did about 7 weddings.
Okay.
I was a little nervous about it,
Yeah.
but
Of
the
course.
unknown. Nobody
Yeah.
knew what was going on.
And you said I helped you, but like I didn't help you like do your job. I just like kind of maybe gave a few little hints and tips about
Right.
what I've seen because I don't know how
Right,
to
you kind of
DJ.
help me, keep me in the order.
Yeah,
and
just stuff
things,
like right. And that's
keep
what
keep things
and
flowing.
that's what we do. I mean, that's what we as wedding vendors we help each other.
Right.
No matter what our jobs are, and like if we're getting ready to do speeches or something, it's imperative that the DJ will come to us and be like, "Hey, man, we're going to start speeches in 5 minutes. This
Yeah.
is who's going to do it. This is who's going to do it. Where do you want to put them at? This is what a mic. This is where I'm going to put the mic. Stuff like that. That communication is key.
And I do that a lot. And a lot of times I'll say, "Hey, we're going to try to do it in 5 minutes. Do you need more time?"
Right.
The communication is key when
Right.
it comes to doing weddings.
And a good DJ, really, you don't really need a planner per se or a coordinator when it comes to the reception because a good DJ can kind of run the show.
And a lot of times, you get a schedule,
Right.
and schedules don't always work.
Exactly.
And you kind of got to get a feel for it, know when to get things going. Like,
Yep.
if these people standing around talking, all right, it's time to move on.
Thank you. I'm glad you meant, because that's, and I've noticed that too. Like, you can't, carry a song out too long. Sometimes, if it gets boring or whatever, then you gotta figure out a way to get out of that song and get into something else if the
Right.
dance floor empties. And so you sort of have to and I've said this before, you kind of have to become a psychiatrist in a way. You kind of got to read people's minds and
Right.
and read the crowd.
You also got to give them time to eat, especially the bride and groom. Man, a lot of times they don't get time to eat.
Right, they don't.
And sometimes I'll have the schedule and they want to do this at this time. Well, they just now started sitting down to eat.
Right.
So I'll go to them and say, "Hey, I know this is the schedule, but do you guys want some time to eat?"
Right.
And I'll try to prolong it just a little bit.
Yeah.
Give them time to rest for a second because, man, they get busy.
We just got back from photos and videos, so they need to eat and kind of chill out for a little bit, have a moment to themselves, and then you come up to them and they don't want to be pressured to do
Right.
whatever.
And when I started doing this, weddings wasn't even a thought.
Right. So so let's talk about that. You started doing what? Well, a school event.
Yeah,
right?
it was
A
a school
dance.
dance. First one I did was using Windows Media Player, and didn't take me long to figure out this is not the way to do this.
Right. Well, you learn.
So
you learn by trial and
it
error.
was a self-taught lesson.
Right.
And man, since then I've upgraded speakers. I had to buy a trailer.
Right.
Now I'm looking maybe having to get a bigger trailer
That's awesome.
because I'm running out of room in the trailer.
Right. I love that. I love to see people grow, and I know you're kind of a tech junkie like me, so I always have to have the best cameras. You always have to have the best speakers or mics or whatever.
And lighting, man, I love my lighting.
Right.
You can have good music. You can have you can have a good crowd.
Right.
But if you can add those lights,
it just makes it a whole lot more immersive. I love that word immersive. So, in our videos, so it's kind of the same thing with DJs. It just makes the whole experience that much better.
It gives it that party atmosphere.
Exactly. Yeah. And you turn the lights down just a little bit, not too low, because then we can't see on the video side. But that's where we work together. Be like, hey man, can we just bump those lights up just a hair, and then we'll then you can hit your lights, and that way you still have the effects of your light. And then I can still use that light, for what we need. And
you guys always make my lighting look good, too.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we shoot it like what you see is what you get. So, but now I do like to kind of show off the DJ's equipment, kind of do a pan across the equipment, show the sign a little bit, show you with the headphones on, doing some actions, whatever. So, that's a teamwork atmosphere, and I think you deserve that credit. Yeah. So, and it kind of tells the story of their wedding reception. Oh, we had a DJ, and he's killing it.
And I love that you guys cover that, because I've done weddings before. I never even hardly spoke to the videographer.
I've heard of that before. People, saying they never spoke to a videographer or a photographer, and I just can't imagine a wedding where you wouldn't.
And it's tough.
I mean, I just don't understand. I've always done it, even from the very get-go. But I've always been a hands-on communication kind of guy, and I just feel like, communication is key. And if there's any problems that you're going to have during a wedding day or anything, it's because of lack of communication.
Right.
And so when you can have that, when that's the first thing you do, like as soon as the DJ walks in, he's putting his equipment up. Usually I'm already there. I'll see him come in with his trailer, and I'm like, hey, man, if you need help, if you need a hand, let me know. I'll help you out if I can. But, I'm Rob. This is my second shooter. When you get set up, there's a couple things we want to talk to you about how we set our mics up or whatever, so we can record those speeches and stuff. And then they're usually like, we're best friends at the end of the night.
Well, that first wedding, I'd never met you before.
Right.
You were one of the first people to come to me. Well, and it was a lot. It was a calming of the nerves.
Yeah,
I mean, it was awesome.
That's cool. That's good. I think I was by myself on that wedding too.
May have been.
Yeah.
Like I said, I did that one, and then COVID hit.
Yeah. Then you shut down for a while.
This past year, I did, I think, about 20.
Wow. That's good.
And that was just just me. Now my daughter's starting to help a little bit.
Cool.
She goes with me sometimes.
Just kind of
help us set up. She's learning.
Yeah. Yeah, you always could use a lending hand,
right.
helping carry all that equipment, because you're there for probably 2 hours before.
Honestly, with weddings, usually I'm there about 3.
Wow.
Because probably don't need that much time.
Yeah.
But I'm the type, if I get there, something's wrong, I have time to fix it. It's
exactly.
not rushed.
You just never know.
Right.
And then you can kind of relax. Then you got to get changed and all that kind of stuff, and then you're there like me. I'm usually gone before you leave. Mm-hmm. You're there carrying out the rest of the dance, the dances, and then so I'm gone, or my guys are gone. So then you still have to tear down, after. A
lot of times I'm the last one there.
So lots of long nights driving home, I'm sure.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
And
I don't mind the travel.
Right.
That's I've done them in Kentucky, Virginia, of course, West Virginia.
Yeah.
This year I'm doing one in Tennessee.
Nice. So you're branching out. People finding you, hearing about you, and I mean that's good. I mean there's not that many DJs. I mean there's a lot of. I think I heard we was talking before we got on the podcast here, and I think you mentioned that somebody, you gave a quote to somebody, and they said they was just going to use a family friend. From my experience, I've seen it. That's usually a mistake.
Yeah.
But not everybody needs a DJ. I get that.
I've done a few weddings.
Right.
I thought to myself, man, they really didn't need me.
Well, right, exactly.
And I'm glad I'm glad I was there.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But
but they weren't the crowd that really need a DJ, and so yeah, I get that. But like I've been to some, like man, everybody's leaving.
Yeah.
I was at a wedding at Lake Stevens, and it wasn't that
venues,
wedding.
by
That
the
was
way.
the one, yeah. And they did not have a DJ, and nobody stayed. And then they wanted me to stay till my contract time ended, and well, gosh, I mean there was nobody there for like the exit. So like. I felt like I was there for nothing,
And I've learned with some crowds, it don't matter what you do.
Yeah.
They're not going to dance.
That's right.
You have your go-to songs.
Right.
If they won't get up and dance to those songs,
right,
you're not going to get them.
Right.
And then I did one not too long ago. My time was up. The time they'd pay me to be there was up. And They wanted to know how much did you get me to stay. It's in the contract. They can pay extra. And the guests took up a collection.
Wow.
Just so I'd stay another hour.
So everybody enjoyed it so much that everybody said, look, we want to pay for this. We want this guy to stay.
Yeah, they all started taking up money. It was like, here, we got it.
That's too cool.
I hit play button. We kept going.
Yeah. You're not a play button kind of guy.
No.
You're into it. You're working with your couple ahead of time with the playlist and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of know what to play, and then of course now, okay, so you do also the ceremony too sometimes?
Yes.
Okay. So you have like separate equipment, and you can.
I have actually bought a battery powered speaker, and it's the same size as all of them, the rest of them.
Nice.
Same power. It does good.
Yeah.
Does not need power
Right.
to run.
So you can take it to the end of a field somewhere.
I bought it for one place that didn't have any power,
Yep.
where the ceremony was going to be, and I have used that speaker just about everywhere.
That's
I go.
awesome. So it's paid for itself.
So my reception setup is already up and set up, and then I have the separate speaker. I can be set up and tore down in 5 minutes.
Wow. So
It has wireless mics and everything.
That way you don't have to hurry up and tear down to go and start running. You can go back and start running this one, but then when you get time, you can get back and grab your equipment and bring it in. So that's nice. And then I didn't know that. So like the officiant needs a mic, and then so people can hear the bride and groom's vows. Of course, they can always hear it on our film because we always put a mic on them for us. But for the audience, the day of, they need something like a professional system like yours to be able to do that. That's good you provide that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you have lighting. Any other effects that you do yet? Or are you thinking about doing like the walk on the clouds and all that?
I tried that. I had a fog chiller. Is
Okay.
what it is. Puts it down on the ground.
Okay.
A little bit cheaper than using dry ice.
Okay.
And it broke the second time I used it.
Probably not, yeah.
And,
I don't see that a lot. And usually when I do see it, it's never successful. I've only been to a couple of weddings where it actually worked like it was supposed to.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe I've seen the wrong ones, but
I've looked into getting a dry ice, which is really that good effect.
Right.
But there's not enough demand for it.
right.
I haven't had.
At least not around here. I mean, we shot a couple of weddings in New York, and they had it up there, and they had the dry ice, and that's one of the ones that did work very, very well.
Right.
And then they had, of course, they probably use that machine every week for a wedding. Weddings are different in New York City than they are here, but they also have the spark, the cold spark machines too. So those are pretty cool, and I've seen those in West Virginia, but.
I'm afraid of those.
And I think West Virginia makes it a little bit difficult. I think by law you have to have a pyrotechnic license or something, and even though they're not technically a pyrotechnic, if that's the right terminology, the right word, but they're cold sparks, but still you're supposed to have that.
Yeah. Another thing I have is the monogram.
Oh, okay.
The custom monogram you put up on the wall.
Yep.
I can also do full color projection.
Yeah.
Like if you want to do a slideshow with pictures.
Okay.
We can do videos. We can do anything like that.
Yeah. So if somebody wants to have like a video montage or something, a photo montage or something, that you can play that, and that's set up anywhere or set up by your DJ booth.
As long as it's got power.
Cool.
It does have to have power.
Oh yeah, of course.
But I can, I've done it across the room.
Yeah.
We can do it real close. Where basically I get good to the venue and you look to find a good wall.
Right.
And you put it up. You have a couple up lights, to accent it.
Yeah.
I have the up lights too. I have eight battery powered up lights you can put anywhere you want.
That's cool. So you can just take them around and change the colors, but put different gels in them. Well, I guess it's LEDs.
Yeah,
right?
32 different colors.
Oh wow!
And then when the party starts,
yeah.
I call it the party part of the
Sure,
reception. When the dancing starts, I can change the setting on them to where they will change colors with the music.
Okay.
They will go to the beat of the music.
It's all syncing and
right.
That's pretty cool. So.
And of course, I do fog if the venue allows. A lot of times, you'll have a fire alarm system.
Yeah, that's true.
The fog machine it is not friendly with.
Yeah.
Learned that the hard way one time.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's embarrassing. Oh wow. So what's the furthest you've traveled so far? This I know you're going to Tennessee this year, but like Kentucky, you think?
Lexington, Kentucky.
Oh, that's a good drive. That's 4 hours for me, I think.
Yep,
so we've been there before. So that's a cool. That's a lot. There's a lot of venues in Lexington. It seems like a lot of ranches. a lot of horse themed.
Mm-hmm. This one was at a ranch.
At a ranch, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's now most of it's in West Virginia, of course, but I've started. There's a place in Pikeville that's really nice.
Yeah.
I got 2 booked there this year.
Nice. So you kind of get in. You're like us, once the venue owners kind of see your work and they like what you're doing and they know that you're not going to tear up their venue and all that with your equipment and just the whole experience is good. Right. Then you're automatically on the vendor list.
Well, that's how these 2 family was
right.
because of their vendor list.
That's awesome. That's good. So
and I love working with the vendors.
Yeah.
I mean, and also the venues.
Venues, right. Yeah.
And I'm licensed, insured.
Right. That's good. That's good to know.
So if something happens, something falls over and knocks a hole in their wall, I'm covered.
Right.
We're good. Which hasn't happened. Thankfully, nothing's happened.
Right. Surprisingly, there's a lot of vendors that are not licensed and insured. And of course, I frown on that because I am licensed and insured. So I mean, I don't see how you can. I mean, even though how can a videographer, in my case, do any damage? But I mean, I guess we could trip and fall and knock something over, or maybe maybe one of our lights could catch on fire or something like that. I mean, that's not going to happen. But I mean, I guess there's always that chance. But still, we are licensed and insured. But there's a lot of vendors that are not, and that's when couples should definitely ask those questions when they're booking their vendors, whether it's DJ or videographer, photographer, or anybody. Make sure that they are licensed and insured, and that also prevents scammers because we've both seen a lot of that.
Oh yes,
I've seen scammers on the DJ side, video side, photo side. You don't see it a lot in West Virginia, but it is out there. So
well, I had one couple that used me. They had a DJ that didn't show up. Pretty much kind of ghosted them.
Right, wasn't going to. Well, they knew ahead of time they weren't going to show up, so they called you last minute.
They called me the day before.
Oh my gosh!
And thankfully, I had a opening because I had a cancellation myself.
Wow.
Somebody, they had called off the wedding. I don't know how. Unfortunately, I don't know.
Right.
I don't know the reason.
Yeah.
And so I had that day open, and I told them I'd be there. So I had 1 day notice.
Man, that's
showed
amazing.
up and. We made it happen.
So you was a hero, that saved the day.
They said that, I felt like I was just doing my job. I enjoyed it, and I was glad to be able to do it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
But had I not been able to do it, I would have tried to help them find somebody.
Right.
That's another thing I do. If I'm booked, man, I'll try my best to help you find somebody.
You got a network of other DJ friends, and who's good, who's not, and who you're going to put your name on. So you'll send them out there like,
right.
Hey, use this person. They may be in your budget. They may be available, maybe not, but at least you can check them out. And
try to give them somebody.
Right. Yeah. Give them some hope.
Exactly.
So we've helped with that a lot too with every vendor. I mean, I'm always helpful as much as I can. Usually. Wedding videographers are usually towards the end of, like, they've already got all their other vendors, and then we're usually towards one of the last ones. But sometimes we're one of the first, and I've got a couple of brides right now, I won't mention names, but they're not even engaged yet, and they've already booked us.
Oh, wow.
So that's pretty flattering.
That's just pretty good.
They were they know they're going to be, well, they know the date, but they just haven't officially, put the ring on the finger just yet. So, but they went ahead and booked us because they knew.
I don't have any of that situation, but I do have some that's booked next year already.
Yeah, that's good. So 24 weddings. So we've actually got one 2026 wedding.
Wow,
that's crazy. And one 2025, and then a bunch of 2024s. But yeah, that's crazy. So how can people get a hold of Matt Cook? Hold on, wait a minute. I don't want to put the cart before the horse. Your logo. I identify that logo. So that is. It looks to me like Back to the Future.
It's the idea.
Okay, so what's the deal there?
A big Back to the Future fan. My all-time favorite movie.
Okay.
When I first started, I needed to put letters on my trailer. I got a trailer, had a big white side to it. Need to put some letters on it.
Okay.
So I just used the font. The style.
You can get the font.
Yeah, just black and white.
Yeah.
And a friend of mine who actually DJ'd his wedding, Corey, he messaged me one day and he said, "Why don't you let me put some color to that?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Okay, cool." So I thought he was going to make the colors and in the letters. Well, he sends me the logo and it's got all this lightning and all that.
Right.
I absolutely fell in love with it.
Right.
So now it's everywhere. I've got it big on my trailer. Yeah. And so anything I do, it's there.
You can't see it, but it's on his socks. By the way, he's got socks on right now that's got the Back to the Future. So he's in it. It's on the watch too. So that's pretty cool. So are you going to have it? Well, hold on. We've done a wedding where we had a DeLorean, the Back to the Future car.
I heard about one.
And it's in Beckley, and it's actually a groom of ours, and it was his grandfather's car, but it's his car now. So it was at Glade. And we shot a wedding, and
I was there the week after.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And they drove off in that car. That was a car.
I heard all about it. And,
oh man!
I was like, man, they should have hollered at me.
Yeah, you would have loved that. So.
I probably would have disappeared with the car.
You didn't hear that.
Yeah.
but so that's cool. So now you just need a DeLorean to be your tow vehicle for your trailer.
My kids laugh at me because I've always said that was my dream car. Was an '81 DeLorean.
Yeah.
And my daughter thinks that's hilarious.
You know what you could do? Just an idea. I mean, we're having fun here. We're talking buddy to buddy, but. I like to wrap my cars. I always have a wrap on my car that says Elevated Media. But you could, like, you have a truck. Is that right? You could maybe take your truck and maybe do like a full wrap on the side that looks like a DeLorean.
Oh, that'd be cool.
How the DeLorean's wheels would look like your truck wheels would look like the DeLorean's wheels.
I actually had checked on wrapping my trailer.
Okay.
Right now, I just got big color decals.
Well, you could put the car on it.
But I did check on getting the trailer wrapped, and it was going to cost me more than what the trailer cost me.
Oh wow! Yeah,
so I was like, I may hold off on that.
He needs more weddings. Book him so he can get that wrapped. So he puts all of his money back into his company, which I think is great.
I'm just bought 2 brand new speakers. So now I have 4.
4 speakers.
It was an upgrade, but it's also going to be in addition to what I already had.
Right.
To where if I do bigger venues, you get more sound.
And you play any kind of music, anything anybody wants, right?
If they want it, I'll play it.
Okay.
Matter of fact, just last weekend I did an event. It was a wrestling show.
Oh wow!
And got to do the entrance music and the victory.
I saw that on your Facebook feed. That's pretty cool.
One of probably the coolest things I've done because I'm a wrestling fan myself.
Yeah, okay.
And got to play the music for some bigger name guys. Arn Anderson, 4 Horsemen.
Yeah.
Got to do.
I remember those guys from back in the day.
Got to do the NWO music for one of the wrestlers.
That's too cool, man.
It was a pretty cool experience.
Yeah,
got to meet them. Got to talk to them. So when I started DJing, I never thought in a million years that I'd be playing entrance music for a wrestling show. Got to get in the ring, set up the mic and everything.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
That's a good experience. So you're doing everything, anything, any kind of party, any kind of event.
Dances,
weddings is probably the biggest part of your business, and that's just like ours.
School dances, weddings.
Yeah.
That's the 2 biggest things I do.
Cool. All right. Well, Matt, tell everybody how they can find you. Website, Facebook, Instagram, all that.
Facebook is at DJ Matt Cook. Phone number's 304-923-8808.
All right. I will put all that information in the description below, and I think that's all we have time for. But, Matt, I really appreciate you coming out today and talking to us, me, but anyway, wish you good luck this year. When's your first wedding this year?
April 1st.
April 1st. So we'll see you out there. I know we'll probably cross paths 4 or 5 times this year or more. Hopefully more.
Hopefully.
So
I always like working with you.
All right. Thank you, y'all. Appreciate it.
Thank you.